Why, hello there. How are you on this beautiful day? I am so glad to hear that. I would like to welcome you to After Fashion Fragrance Specialists. My name is Afton, and I am here to help you with whatever you might need. What brings you in to our store today? Oh, you're looking for some niche fragrances. Well, we have a selection of some harder to find and very unique perfumes. I would love to help you look through them. Were there any that you particularly wanted to look at? Ah, the Amouage. Very good choice. We have 3 Amouage fragrances in stock today. Do you own any of Amouage's fragrances? I see. Well, just a little bit about Amouage before we get to looking at the fragrances themselves. Amouage was established in 1983 by the Sultan of Oman. Yes, it's near the United Arab Emirates in the Middle East, I believe. That's correct. The Sultan of Oman wanted to reinvigorate Arabic perfumery, which has a long and illustrious tradition in the Arab world. Yes, it's very well known indeed. Amouage takes traditional Arabic elements used in perfumery, such as frankincense, myrrh, oud or argarwood, incense, musk, and spices. And it mixes those elements with classical techniques and ingredients of the great European perfume houses. They have an international flavor, but always stay true to their roots, in my opinion. The bottles, which you can see here, represent the Palace Rui Mosque in Muscat, Oman. They are encrusted with the crest of the House of Amouage. They have the name and are adorned with a small jewel on the cap that complements the color of the bottle. If you look closely at the cap, perhaps you can see the name of the perfume is etched into the ring. In this case, it says Ubar. Each bottle and cap is unique and represents the character of the perfume. Since 2007, Christopher Chong has been the creative director at Amouage, and he has worked to streamline the brand. Although unfortunately that has meant that Amouage no longer carries as many attars. Yes, those are pure perfume oils, very strong in concentration. They're quite expensive though. But if you own one, it is some of the purest perfume you can buy. Yes, I think that in streamlining the brand, they wanted to make it more accessible to a wider audience, which is why they stopped producing the attars. As I said, we have 3 Amouage fragrances: Memoir, Ubar, and Sunshine. And all 3 are beautiful and very unique and different. Is there one that you would like to begin with? Memoir. Excellent choice. It is surely one of my favorites. As you can see, this bottle is black as night, and you can imagine the character of this perfume, dark and sultry. It is excellent actually to find perfumes housed in opaque or dark colored bottles, because it protects the liquid inside from the effects of sun and light, which is very damaging to perfumes and can significantly deteriorate the perfume over time. Memoir was released on the market in 2010. Its primary category is considered a leather animalic chypre. Yes, that's a fancy word, French for a specific category of perfumes. The top notes in Memoir are cardamom, mandarin orange, pink pepper, and wormwood. The middle notes are clove, incense, pepper, wood notes, jasmine, rose, and white flowers. The base notes are French labdanum, oak moss, styrax, and leather. It is an intense, warm, spicy, balsamic composition that is very smoky and woody in its leather. It was created by Danielle Moral and Dorothy Pio, and is the scent of a seductress in the night. It is built around a central accord of absinthe, which creates a sexy resinous veil. As it opens, when you first spray it, it is heavily incense and smoke, as if you had just entered a dark room where people are smoking pipes, cigars, and you feel the tobacco very strongly. But after about an hour or so, and the perfume begins to settle into your skin, it becomes the most beautiful red rose, sweet and jammy, with the chewier tobacco. You get bold and elegant, velvety floral. The hint of sweetness below. The incensey veil sweetens it so beautifully. Would you like to take a closer look at the bottle? You can see it says Memoir. And is encrusted with a black jewel. Would you like to try it? Yes, go ahead. Here is the cap. It's very heavy, isn't it? I will retrieve a tester for you. It is gorgeous and mysterious and dark. So beautiful, What do you think? It is very strong, especially if you're not used to niche perfumes. But its strength is smooth and round, and never screechy or harsh. It is the most well-composed dance of so many complicated and intricate ingredients. Is it one that you think you might like to consider? So beautiful. You want to think about it? No worries. We have many more to choose from. I'll just leave that with you. I forgot to mention earlier too that the caps are all magnetized for a very tight fit. Perhaps next we should look at something from Amouage that is the polar opposite to Memoir. Well, Memoir is dark and mysterious and sultry. Sunshine is exactly the opposite, although both perfumes contain a tobacco element. The use of tobacco and some other notes, which I will tell you in a moment, creates a beautiful oriental floral that is almost gourmand. It is so sweet. The bottle is a bright yellow with a white top and white crest and lettering. And the bottle has the most subtle sheen and sparkle in certain lights. Unlike Memoir, Sunshine also has lettering down the sides as well as on the cap. Sunshine is one of the newest fragrances from Amouage and was released in 2014. It is classified as a fruity floral with strong influences from white florals, vanilla, almond, and wood. Personally, I consider it a sweet, fruity vanilla tobacco. The top notes in Sunshine are artemisia, black currant, and almond. The middle notes are osmanthus, jasmine, magnolia, and vanilla. The base notes are juniper, patchouli, papyrus, and white tobacco. Yes, the white tobacco lends a much softer, sweeter tone than the heavier incensey tobacco found in Memoir. Sunshine is a decadent perfume, almost foody in its sweetness. It is lush and rich. Its sweetness is thick and heavy, and there is a denseness. That is true. One would not immediately think of such things when they think of sunshine. But I believe Amouage's sunshine is not the light of the sun, but rather it is the warmth and the heat of the sun. There are moments in the life of this fragrance on your skin where you can almost feel it simmering. I picture with this fragrance the boundless love and joy that you find when you first begin to fall for someone. It is that head rush, the heat, the feeling in your chest when you think of them. It is a very heady and intoxicating scent. Would you like to sample it? Of course. You should feel the weight of this cap as well, with its lovely little jewel in yellow. Thank you. It is so hard to describe it, is it not? Oh, so beautiful. It is very modern, and people sweeter perfumes and fruity florals. Yes, this is a wonderful way to begin to love more complex niche fragrances. It is very accessible, is it not? Very beautiful. It's hard to stop smelling it. Yes. What do you think? It is hard not to love it. I agree. Shall we say it is a very likely candidate? Alright, wonderful. I will let you. Hang on to this. It's a very strong magnet. Did you still want to take a look at Ubar as well? Why not? While you're here, you might as well. Ubar is one of the more classic Amouage fragrances, and it has a retro vibe to it. It was launched in 1995 and is also classified as an oriental floral. Like Memoir, this is also considered an animalic fragrance, but it has a very different character than Memoir. As you can see, the bottle is gold and it has an ombre effect where the gradient goes from dark to light. The crest is in gold, as is the lettering on Ubar. It has a more transparent cap and an amber colored jewel at the top. The top notes in Ubar are tangerine, orange, Lycia cubea, and violet leaf. The middle notes are jasmine, orange blossom, lang lang, tuberose, freesia, lily of the valley, and palisandia rosewood. The base notes are sandalwood, vanilla, patchouli, vetiver, copahu balm, and black amber. Yes, it's a very complicated composition, so many notes. And it is a very complicated perfume. As I said, it is also an oriental floral, but it is a white floral. It has characteristics of wood, amber, and has balsamic qualities as well. Yes, it sounds like it would be very similar to Memoir, wouldn't it? But wait till you smell it. They are entirely different. It's amazing how perfumers can take the same ingredients or similar ingredients and create entirely new compositions. As I said, this was released in 1995, and it has a quality to it that you find in many of the old classic fragrance compositions. It is a powerhouse fragrance, a bombshell, as it were, and its animalic tendencies come from a heavy dose of civet, which is a musk from an animal that looks slightly like a beaver. This rich vintage perfume reminds some people of a Chanel No. 5, but without the aldehydes, which is the powdery quality that you find in Chanel No. 5. And without that powder, Ubar smells much richer and smoother. Like Memoir and Sunshine, though, it does have a touch of sweetness from the white florals. While Memoir is a seductive perfume full of mystery, and Sunshine is a joyous perfume that is full of love and decadence, Ubar is a sophisticated perfume, much more classic and fresh. It is intoxicating as well, but it is far more conservative in its intoxication. It is a symphonic floral burst and is very beautiful, but very different than the others. Would you like to try it? Of course. This cap is lighter, but it still feels very substantial. Immediately it hits you. It is very rich, but it is very floral. I agree. It smells more mature, perhaps, than the other two. A CEO in a beautifully tailored white suit, with her hair in a French twist and red lipstick. Very well put together. Very vintage, I agree. It's a perfume that you can wear on days that you want to feel very confident. It's a very self-assured perfume. Is it one that you think you might have interest in? You think you still favor sunshine? No worries. It is very hard to say no to that one, as I said. It's a crowd pleaser. Would you like to take a look at anything else today? The Ormonde Jayne. It is also an excellent selection. You will have a difficult time to choose, I think. I will get them, and I will be right back. I have retrieved the 3 Ormonde Jayne selections that we currently have in stock. Champaca, Taif, and Frangipani. I thought that we could begin again, just looking at the fragrance house itself. Amouage and Jayne was founded in 2002 by Linda Plinkington in London. Amouage and Jayne is known for its use of materials that are rare in perfumery. And each product is created in-house in the London studio, where it is bottled and packaged by hand. And before we talk about each perfume individually, I just wanted to explain a little bit about the composition of each one, which is a play on a specific flower. These are not soliflora compositions or single flower compositions. They do have multiple notes, but each is an homage to a particular flower. I'm not sure if you have ever heard of Champaca flowers, Taif roses, or Frangipani blossoms, but I thought we could take a moment to look at each one before we get into the perfumes themselves. This is a Champaca flower, and Champaca is a variety of magnolia with fragrant yellow flowers from India. In India, the Champaca is a sacred flower. They're very delicate little blossoms. This is a Taif rose, and Taif roses are a staple in Middle Eastern perfumery. It is an Arabian flower that is only grown in one city in Saudi Arabia called Taif. Yes, the flower is named after the city. They are a very unique smelling rose, very beautiful. And finally, Frangipani, also known as Plumeria, is a beautiful little white tropical flower that has very fragrant blossoms. So, with that knowledge, perhaps we will begin with the Champaca, which, as we just learned, is the sacred Indian flower from the magnolia family. Each Ormonde Jayne fragrance that we have in stock comes packaged in a beautiful presentation box. And it says Amouage and Jayne, London Perfumery. The box is magnetized at the bottom. And flaps open to reveal the bottle nestled in a velvet cushion. These, or should I say this, is the old style bottle from Ormonde Jayne. In a moment, we will look at the newer package and bottle style. It is a very simple but elegant bottle with the name Amouage and Ormonde Perfumery again, and then the name of the perfume, which in this case is Champaca. The back has the signature Ormonde Jayne ribbons. Champaca and Haïf, as well as Frangipani, are technically classified as unisex fragrances, but in my opinion, each leans more feminine than it does masculine. Champaca was released in 2002. It was one of the first fragrances released by Ormonde Jayne. And the composition opens with neroli, pink pepper, and airy bamboo. The middle notes consist of Champaca Absolute, basmati rice, and freesia, and the base notes are myrrh, musk, and green tea. It is a yellow floral in character with green aspects that are slightly sweet, balsamic, and musky. This composition is very unique because of the basmati rice, which is a kind of Indian rice, and the green tea. It is a very soft and fresh composition that opens slightly tart. It is clean and light. The tea gives it that clean feeling. But the basmati rice gives it a frothier, creamy texture, underneath. And in combination, it has a lovely, charming quality and a transparent sweetness that is very intimate. Its uniqueness makes it very modern. Would you like to try it? Yes, it does smell very fresh, doesn't it? So clean. Very soft. There is a gentle harmony about it. It certainly is the lightest and the cleanest smelling fragrance that we have sampled so far today. It would be perfect for spring, I agree. And as it begins to dry down, a bit of the creaminess comes in. What do you think? You like it? It is refreshing, isn't it? I'll just let you hold on to this. So, what's the verdict? You want to try the others first? Okay, of course. I'll just put the box to the side for a minute. Next, I thought that we could try something quite different from Ormonde Jayne than Champaca. This is the newer style packaging and bottle, which we shall see in a moment. Similar to the other though, it still comes with a sleeve. Which is quite tight on the box. We'll just lay this to the side. As we saw with the last box, this again says Ormonde Jayne, but this time it just says London. It opens with a magnetized flap, and instead of the velvet cushion, we now see a satin cushion, and the bottle is slightly larger looking with a beveled edge. Slightly more difficult to remove, perhaps. It is very heavy in comparison to the older style, with a fully metal stopper. We can see here Amouage and Jayne, London, and the name of the perfume, which is Taif. And if we recall from earlier, Taifi rose is from Saudi Arabia and is only grown in one city there. It is beautiful pink rose. Taif was released in 2004, and it was originally intended to be a glamorous evening fragrance. Taif is Linda Blinkington's take on an Arabian style fragrance in the European tradition. Much like the Amouage, except this is starting in London and ending in the Middle East, and the Amouage starts in the Middle East and ends up in Europe. Taif rose is delicious and sweet. In comparison to a normal rose, it has a creamy haze about it. And Taif, the fragrance is very plush in that way. This fragrance is rather shameless, but it's a more innocent seductiveness than you find in Memoir by Amouage. This is a more coy and inviting sense of sex appeal, but it is still very opulent. If you want to classify the Memoir and the Taif, the two being slightly similar in many ways, Amouage's Memoir is like a velvet, a thick velvet, a dark velvet. And Taif is like a luminous satin or a silk, rich, but not quite as deep. Still incredibly beautiful, though. It is technically classified as a rose that is sweet, white floral, warm spicy, with touches of amber. The notes in this composition include an opening of pink pepper, saffron, and dates. In the heart, of course, there is Taif rose, and that is accompanied by freesia, orange flower absolute, and jasmine. The base, slightly warmer and more oriental, includes broom and amber. A beautiful tribute to the flower, Taif rose. Would you like to sample? Of course, I shouldn't even ask, right? You should feel this top, though. It's incredibly heavy, right? Very quality fragrance. It is so lush. Here, try it for yourself. It's intoxicating in its beauty. Yes. It's audacious and daring, and very confident. I agree. It's hard to stop smelling it. You love it? It has just a touch of sweetness. And the longer you let it blossom on your skin, the more the Taifi rose will bloom. Well, perhaps we will set it aside then as a very possible maybe. I will let you hold on to this. Finally, I will show you our Frangipani, which is in the Pure Parfum concentration. It comes in this lovely little white box, which on the lid reads Ormonde Jayne, and again, London Perfumery. The bottle is wrapped in a lovely little velvet bag. And comes in a very small square bottle. Because this perfume is so concentrated, you don't need very much, just the slightest little drop. Frangipani was launched in 2003, and as we said earlier, is a tropical flower from the Plumeria family. Frangipani by Ormonde Jayne is the epitome of feminine, in my opinion. It is a white floral with citrus accords that is sweet and aquatic. Frangipani, although not a soliflora composition, is very true to the flower. It is a dewy composition that is fresh, summery, and refreshingly sweet and green, with a subtle juicy tang from the citrus. The notes that comprise Amouage Jayne's Frangipani include top notes of sparkling lime, linden blossom, and magnolia. The heart is, of course, primarily composed of Frangipani itself, and this note is accompanied by tuberose absolute and water lily. The base has fruity nuances of plum and oil of green orchid. It is rich and lovely, but clean as well. It is like a tropical bouquet. To sample this, I will just go ahead and let you smell straight out of the bottle. It's very strong. Yes. You smell the citrus immediately, do you not? It's very beautiful. It's cooling, I agree. It has a delicate elegance about it, I think. And I'll tell you that although this fragrance seems lighter and has that sheer sense to it, it lasts a very long time. You get great quality from Amouage and Jayne. What do you think? It's beautiful, yes, I agree. It is very hard to choose. I very much agree. I do not envy you the choice. So today, we then looked at Amouage's Memoir, Ubar, and Sunshine, and Ormonde Jayne's Champaca, Taif, as well as Frangipani. Did you want to make any selections today? You want the Sunshine from Amouage. Excellent choice. It's one of my favorites. How about the Ormonde Jayne? You're not sure? Well, actually, I might have something else. If you find that it's just too difficult to decide between the Amouage and Jayne fragrances, we do also carry Amouage and Jayne's Discovery Set, which includes samples of not only the 3 perfumes that you sampled today, but also many of the others that the line includes. And it can be slightly difficult, but there we go. Whoop. It's quite expansive, yes. On one side you get some information about Ormonde Jayne and the different perfumes in her line, much of which we talked about today, as well as a selection of different samples. That way you can take them home and spend a little bit more time getting to know them before you make any major commitments. Is that something that you think you would rather? Alright, I think it's a wonderful choice. You can spend as much time as you need making up your mind that way. Well, I will go ahead and get these wrapped up for you and get them taken to the register. I'm so happy that you visited us today, and I hope that I was able to show you some things that you will come to love very much. Niche Perfumery is a very interesting corner of the fragrance market, and it can be sometimes difficult perhaps to understand the fragrances in this market, but if you give them time, I think that you'll find the more complex compositions very rewarding. Is there anything else that I can help you with then? Wonderful. Well, have a beautiful day. It's quite lovely out there. Take care now.